Hey everybody, welcome back. So today is part two of what we did last week. Last week we talked about this Viz for Social Good and the project that they put out there for volunteers like us. They want to build different dashboards to help communities around the world. So this was going to help the community, a few communities in a few countries in Africa. They provided the data here for the Foundation for Laura Luxembourg that collects, offers grants and money to these communities. And our job was to create different dashboards and turn them in, submit them into this organization. So I created this dashboard. And this dashboard today we're going to go over, as you can see, we have a tree map with a legend. We have a Choropleth map that changes as we click on different regions. You'll see the country highlighted, the region within this country, and you will see a Bootstrap table that will outline the impacts or the results in each region that we select, right? Depending on the country. And the way we built this, or I built this, sorry, was with using colors to show us a difference in budgets. So for example, you can see that the country share percentage out of the whole budget is a legend from light to dark. So all this colors you can see here is light, and these countries are darker, which means that if the whole budget for the Foundation for Luxembourg was about $3 million, then Mali took, as you can see in the hover, 25% of that budget. 25% of the budget went to projects within Mali. And then similar for Benin, 24%, and then a few less and less of a budget until Guinea took only about 1% of the full budget for the foundation. So this legend was very helpful to see that proportion of the budget. And I also made the size of each project corresponds to the amount of budget within that country. So you can see that within Mali, if we zoom in here, the health area takes a big portion of the budget, a lot more than project protection, right? Health here takes a lot more than education and protection as well. So usually the health projects take a bigger piece of the budget than the education and protection or any other area. So this is cool to see with, this is a cool function within the tree map that allows you to see all this. All right, so now let us also go into the code and see how we create all of this. Going to my GitHub if you want to follow along, or if you want this code, I provide it for free. So just go into the link below the video, download this, or just copy paste this, put it into your Python IDE, and this should work for you as well. Oh, don't forget you're going to have to also download the CSV document. Where is it? Right here, the Viz for Good XLSX. I changed it a little bit, so I'll attach it below the email so you can put it in the same folder so this can work for you as well. Okay, so let's go into the code. I'm going to go into my PyCharm. I'm going to go to the very top. So we're not going to go over line by line, but I'm going to highlight the most important things, or what I feel like I could teach you the most here. If you have any questions about something I did not teach, let me know. Write me under the YouTube video. All right, so the first thing you want to do is obviously import all these libraries, right? These libraries are what we need for the app. You can pip install all of them if you don't have them. Then what I'm going to do here, I'm going to read the data and I'm going to reshape the data frame from wide to long. This data that we see that was provided by the foundation that you can get right here, right? The data right here is in a wide format. You see all the countries are going from left to right. So I want to change it to a long format. So all these rows or indexes, I'm going to take all this and I'm going to transpose it and melt it, so all these are actually on top as column names, as the headers. So this is what I do here. First of all, in all this section, right? All I do here. But first of all, I'm gonna have to read the Excel sheet, and I added below the YouTube comments for XLSX Excel sheets. It's better to use, it's best to use Open PyXL. Just pip install PyXL if you don't have it, and then just assign it to the engine. The sheet name is 2018. Today we're only going to do 2018. Later we can do 2019 and 20. Okay. I'm going to assign this sheet and header none. All right. So this is important. It took me about 20 minutes, but now you know. Just download pip install this. So we're doing that. We're transposing the information, and then I'm doing just a few things here. So so the header is correct. You can just print out after use a print statement after every line of code if you want to see what I'm doing here. But in essence, I'm getting the column headers in the right place. And then I'm melting the information because all these 2018 results, which are right here, all these results are going to be different column names with all the impacts for each project. So I don't want it in different column names. I want all this under one column that's going to be called notes. Okay, so all these impacts are going to be under a column that's going to be called notes right here. All right. So this is how I use melt. Again, you can use, if you don't know, if you don't understand what I'm doing, just print df here, and then just print df after the melt, and you'll see the difference, hopefully. Okay, then we're gonna start the app, and we're gonna call in we're gonna use a Bootstrap theme, and you have to use this if you want this to align. And then we're going to start the layout, and the layout is everything is going to be inside a DBC container, right, from here all the way down here. And inside this container, we're going to have, in the first top part, we're just going to have a tree map. This tree map that you see here, this is the big tree map, and this is going to be the default tree map. Later on, we change it through the callback down here, but the first thing when you load the app, right, when you refresh, this tree map is going to show up, which represents this one right here, right? And we'll go over the tree map below. Then we're going to have another row below, and in this row we're going to have two column components, this one and this one, with the width of six units each. So on the left side we'll have a country map, which is going to be the Choropleth, right? That's going to be on the left 6 columns, and on the right side, right here, we're going to have this container, which is going to be the table, the dash bootstrap table, right here. All right. So as you can see in the beginning, when we first load the app, there's nothing. There's just an idea container. So if you first load, you just see the map. But once you click on a certain region, you'll see this table that pops up to the right in the next 6 columns to the right. So this is only once you activate the callback. All right, so, and again here we have a default Choropleth map that's going to show up when I refresh the page, but then it will change as I use the callback. So let's go into the callback. The callback, you can see we're taking one input. We're taking the tree map component, right, which is right here. It's right here, the tree map component, which belongs to this. It's actually a graph, an empty graph, and we're going to take the click data. I want to see the click data of that graph, which is going to be a tree map. And I'm going to use this click data to not update things that I don't want updated, and to build the tree map right here, the Choropleth map, sorry, and build the Choropleth map, and also to build the Bootstrap data table. All right, so there's a lot of code here, and it looks complicated, but it really isn't complicated. What will really help you understand, because I'm not going to go over every single line of code that will bore you to death, but what I would recommend doing is always print the data. All right, and this data, this is the argument, this is actually the click data. All right, so print data, and then it'll be a lot easier to understand what what am I talking about? What is all this? Okay, so let's take an example. The first time when the app freshes, like you just saw, it's a none. Why? Because if data is none, it's the first time the app loads. There is no click data. When I first refresh the app like this, I'm not clicking on any tree here inside the Treemap. I'm not clicking on anything. So because it's none, I'm saying if data is none, just return -no update. So just don't update anything, don't update the callback. But I'm saying else if the data points 0, get current path. So what is all this? This looks like Chinese to me when I first built this. But you can see once when we print the data, right? We're printing the data here so you can see what I'm talking about. If, for example, I'm clicking on Burkina Faso, right? The country Burkina Faso. Then you'll see I'm printing the data here, and it says points current path equals this /. Anytime I click on a country in any country on the map, let's go back. I'll click on Mali right here, not the health, but Mali. Every time I click on something, the country, then the current path is just a /, as you can see here. There's no current path because that is actually like the root. So I'm saying if the data points 0, current path, all this is actually how I get to this information right here. If it equals a /, then I know I clicked on a country and I don't want an update. I don't want the callback to update anything if the app user clicked on a country. Also, if the app user unclicked, clicked on a region and then unclicked on something, then you would see if you print the data, you would see that actually there is no current path. This is none. All right. I don't know if you can see it here. Yeah, you see it right here. I just unclicked on something like I did right here. I clicked on the region and then I unclicked on the region or clicked it again. And when I do that, there is no current path. As you can see, there is no current path. So if there is no current path, I'm saying here, if I'm looking in the dictionary and I don't get a current path, if it's none, then I also don't want to update the tree map. This is my decision. If you want to, you can play around with it. But this is what I wanted to teach you. Very, very important, always print the data. Whenever you can, print the data so you can learn and see what you're actually looking at, okay? The only time I want the map and the table to update if a region is chosen, right? So that's why I put else, if a region is chosen. And a region could be this one right here, anything inside the categories, inside the axis of intervention. Here, 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 nothing, not the country, not the health, but the regions inside of it. So when that is chosen, as you can see here, I'm going to choose this region, the Choropleth, I don't know how to pronounce it, then it will come up here with a table and the map with the country Togo will be chosen. So how do I do that? So I say here else, if the region is chosen, let's take this, the data point 0 label, and again, go to the data that you print out, always print out data inside your function. Data points 0, meaning the dictionary inside this list, which is the whole dictionary. Label is going to be, let's go to label all the way to the right. Label, did I miss it? Right here. Label is going to be the region. So all this right here. Take this region and we'll call it the label selected. And the parent, you see the parent that I put right here, it will be this. Let's go to the left. Parent will be like the category is going to be health, and we're going to put parent selected. And then I just print it out again so I can see for myself, right? And then I'm going to say filter the data frame. So the region is going to be the region selected, and the axis of intervention is going to be the parent selected. Remember, axis of intervention, if you look at the Excel sheet, axis of intervention is either health, education, protection, one of these things. So now I'm filtering the data frame according to the parent that was selected. Now I have a data frame only with that region within that category, either health, protection, or education within that country. And now I can build the table, and I can build the Choropleth map. So let's skip this for now, because this is borders. I can talk about in the YouTube comments if you have below a bit more advanced code in order to highlight, make the borders a little bit more thick. So as you can see here, if I choose this country, Mali, a region there, then I'll see that borders is a little bit thicker. Okay, I can explain that if you have any questions later. Ask me under the YouTube video. So let's skip this and skip this because it's the borders, and all the rest here I'm building the Choropleth. So as you saw here, I have my data frame, and now I'm putting the data frame inside the PX Choropleth. And under the data frame, I'm going to put location is SO alpha. That's how you read the map knows which country you're highlighting, you're talking about. Then the hover name is going to be country. So you see if I hover, you'll see the country Mali. And then scope is going to be Africa, because I just want to see Africa. I don't want to see other countries. And then projection, just styling, a natural earth. And then I'm updating traces. So here I updated, I said, do not show the legend. I don't want to see the legend on the right. And I want to change the margin so it's bigger. The map is a little bit bigger when you take a space out of the margins. This by default is 80, 80, 80. So I'm making the space a little bit smaller in the margins between the app and the map. Okay, so I built my Choropleth map, and it's called Fig, and then I return it here, right? I'm returning it into the first output, which is this one right here, the figure. And the second output, the children, right here, the children of this container, of this div, is going to be the Bootstrap table that I build right here, right? This Bootstrap table that I build right here. Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm saying the table header is going to be the first row, which is going to be the label selected, which, if you remember, is the region's name. Okay, again, just print out label selected, and you'll see it's the region's name. And then the subsequent rows are going to be for X in DFF notes, all the notes column in this filter data frame. Remember, this data frame, the DFF, is a small data frame that contains only rows of this region inside this category. Okay, so it's a very small data frame, maybe 5 rows or 4 rows. So I'm gonna loop over these rows over the notes column, and I'm gonna say if the notes column, the row inside the notes column is null, is empty, then just continue, don't do anything. If not, then go into append, create a row, create a table row with X, which is actually this is the X, this is actually the string inside the notes. That's going to be the string inside each row. So I'm creating for this region that I selected, the Cercle, Decati, and Diola. There's three different rows that were created, and then I'm putting all these rows inside the table body. And then I build a table like this, dash bootstrap table. I put the header plus the body, and I'm putting some borders around it. So that's really it. This is how you create the dash bootstrap table. This is how you create the figure. And as I promised, I want to show you a little bit about the tree map. The tree map I put here at the beginning, and I'm not doing a callback for the tree map because I don't need to change the tree map. There's nothing I need to update on the tree map. What I'm doing, sorry, I got distracted a little bit. So in the tree map, what we're doing here was creating a path. And the path is actually like levels. This is very similar to the sunburst. You have levels. So the first level in the data frame is going to be the country, and then the axis of intervention, which is health, protection, education, and then the region. So you have 3 levels, and that's why you see 3 different levels here when you first load the app. Mali, health, and then the regions, 2 regions inside. Benin will have 2 axes of intervention, health, education, and protection, 3 axes of intervention, and then 2 regions inside here, and 2 regions inside here, and 1 region here. So this is the path. This is how a path works like. And then the color is going to be the country share out of the whole budget. So this creates the legend here. So the lighter the color, the yellower the color, the more of the budget the country actually uses. So Mali uses, like, I don't know, $500,000. out of the full budget, while Benin uses less from the budget. Okay, and Madagascar doesn't, feel sorry for them. They don't really use a lot of the budget. At least they're not allocated the budget that Fondation Fleury Luxembourg has in total. So that's the color, and then values. Values is the changing is actually kind of changes the sizes of the regions or the whole box according to the project budget. Okay, so these project budgets, let's say Mali is using $3 million, these project budgets take the biggest part of the budget. So they're probably taking, I don't know, like $1 million, like $2 million. And then these projects receive a lot lower of a budget from Mali's budget. Right, so this is kind of cool because you can go into each country, you can go into each region, and you can see where Fondation Fleury Luxembourg is allocating their budget. You can see that Benin and Mali are one of the most important countries where most of the money goes to, and Burkina Faso. And then within projects, you can see that health and education, or mainly health, is where most of the money goes to. Sometimes education, sometimes protection, but mainly health. This emergency is a unique one. It's only for a Central African Republic. Great. So this is how you build a tree map. This is how you can tie a tree map to a Choropleth map and a dash Bootstrap table or any other table with the call collect data of the graph. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll do my best to help you learn, data visualization with Dash and how to do these kind of cool dashboards. Also, I'm going to put on my GitLab a URL of the dashboard that I'm going to build for Fondation Fleury for data viz for social good, and I'm going to submit this. We have until January 31st to submit the dashboards for this project. And I built a dashboard similar, but it has a year, so I can change from 2018 to 2019, and if one or two other features. So I'm gonna put that inside my GitLab. I source code I offer to people like you who might be interested in supporting my initiative, in supporting my goal to teach you all about data visualization in Python and become experts in data analytics web apps. That's it. I hope you have a wonderful week. Never give up, keep practicing, and always remember we're better together. So always help each other out.